On a fateful night in January 1969, a wealthy Khoja businessman in Basra, Iraq, had just finished his suhoor rituals and was awaiting to offer his Fajr prayers when he was hauled Gestapo-style by agents of the brutal Ba'athist government of Iraq and put in a dungeon. Saddam Hussein was then the interior minister. This was a well-known social worker, Abdul Husein Jetha Gokul, who always had a particularly soft corner for his fellow Khoja pilgrims to the shrines in Najaf and Karbala. Initially, he opened his house to them, to the rich and poor, who stopped at Basra on their way to Najaf and Karbala. At the time, the only means of transport was by ship to Basra. To serve them even better, Abdul Husain established a Musafir Khana for pilgrims in Basra. It meant a lot to the Khoja pilgrims from the subcontinent and Africa that if they were ever stranded, they could get assistance from Abdul Husain Gokul. Subsequently, Faiz-e Hussaini, a community trust in Mumbai with contributions from philanthropists of Africa and India, built other Musafir Khanas in Najaf, Karbala, and Kadmain, and it was Abdul Husain Jetha Gokul who spent considerable time and effort in managing these Musafir Khanas. Abdul Husain had migrated from Karachi to Basra in 1918, when Iraq came under the tutelage of the British rule with the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. It was the family patriarch Jetha Gokul who had established a thriving shipping business in Basra, chartering vessels from Mumbai and Karachi to Iraq and Gulf ports. Later, his sons Qasim Ali, Abdul Husain, and Ghulam Ali expanded into export and import of commodities, particularly dates, from around the regions of Karbala and Najaf. After his arrest, the Ba'athist regime falsely charged Abdul Husain along with a number of Iraqis for being Israeli spies. In particular, Abdul Husain was charged for his purported involvement in the transfer of money of wealthy Jews fleeing Iraq in the 60s. In typical Ba'athist style, the entire case was based on hearsay without any documentation. The whole case was based on a single Iraqi witness who, as it later transpired, had a grudge against Abdul Husain over some business dealings. Abdul Husain was 60 years old when he was condemned to death in Basra by a kangaroo court. Saddam Hussein, in his capacity as interior minister, ignored the supplication of pardon from Pakistani President Field Marshal Ayub Khan. The treatment meted out to him in imprisonment was so horrific to even contemplate. It would have been an international condemnation if epic proportions of the world saw something like what viewers saw on Pakistan TV. It was shocking to see a man with a bruised, swollen face and painfully visible signs of torture paraded in front of crowds admitting that he was an Israeli spy. Sadly, on 27th January 1969, Abdul Husain was put to death after his orchestrated trial as a criminal. Today he lies in Wadi Salam in Najaf, the largest Qabristan in this world. Ayatollah Sayyid Mohsin al-Hakeem declared Abdul Husain Jetha Gokul as a Shaheed, martyr. After the collapse of the Saddam regime in Iraq, Iraqi authorities have named a street in Basra after him. It is called Shar al-Shaheed al-Sayyid Abdul Husain Jetha Gokul.